All right, guys. This engineer that did the inspection, this is part of his report. I find that it's very beautiful. I'm biased now because if you guys remember, my bias is that I kept saying, why not take core charges, take core charges, core samples, take some core samples, take some core samples. I beg that. With that said, let's just jump to number 5 here. The engineer has no expertise in and taking no responsibility for construction means and methods of job site safety during construction. Construction means he's an engineer with no field experience of how things should how you should put things together. Okay, so let's go to where it should be highlighted over here. Looking at my notes here also now. I only have 3 notes before I jumped in. Core sampling. Right, so I should find core sampling over here. Just tell them to follow the standards. That's nice. Loads greater than design loads, live loads, should not be placed on the structure. So that's awesome. He covers that for this period. But stockpiling materials, that's covered under that. That's it. You can't do that. Now here is core drilling. The contractor shall review the existing structure drawings and the existing structure drawings. So that's the drawings we're looking at apparently, unless they have another set. They're short some pages anyway. And shall understand and shall undertake testing to locate the position and depth of the reinforcement bar or pre-stressing at the location of the proposed core. What does he mean by pre-stressing? Because I don't recall this having any pre-stress. So this is a rubber stamp that something moved from one drawing to another drawing. By Hilti. Remember I kept bragging about Hilti, guys, telling you to use Hilti. Hilti's got the best stuff on it. Here's the X-ray machine, shipping or other means. The X-ray machine. So they use this is just what I've been screaming at you guys, saying core sample is shit. Where are the core samples? But he's saying do this as part of his. Give me a second here. A lot of moisture in my ears. Okay, so page 2. He's saying this is part of this is what you need to see. This is 100% bid document 4/26/21. And then it says on April 27th, this is the, come on, the screen's working a little slow. In progress set. Come on, I'm trying to scroll down. That's the date for construction, not for construction. So this is going to give them the bidding process, and it's going to get fine-tuned. So let's see, page 3. So page 3 has the column marking 28. 28. We now have the column markings. So we know there's 28, and there's only one parking behind us now. This is the car that fell down, probably 41. So we go to Twitter. That's Gregory and I talking. Let's go to Twitter and let's grab that image on the Miami-Dade Fire Department. I think it's Fire Rescue, right? Okay. I really should start following them. There we go. I'll just follow them and get it over with. But I'm not really interested in all this other stuff. Support Surfside. Yeah. They're still pulling rubble out. Days later, they're still taking rubble out. Hell, I would have had every piece of that out there in 24 hours. Every little piece would have been gone. And then the suffering would have been less. Now, use a magnet. They need to start using these magnets out there. They can grab the steel and it'll grab the concrete also and lift it up. Look at these third world countries, how they clear the sites. They use manpower, so that's going to be less literally less foot pressure on the product. You're going to be able to hear people at the same time, and they jump up there and they just knock it out. They take this stuff out fast. Manpower here. They stand on top of the pile and they do turnarounds. They do the hokey pokey. You put your left foot in, you put your right foot out. Yeah, I know something about turning around at that point, right? I forget the rest. They just doing the hokey pokey. You know, stop that shit. Okay, right here. Or my mouse is not pinpointing. Okay, so here is 42 and there's 28. 42, 28. Let's go to the drawings. 42, 28. And these are just lines between the two. So remember I said about compression, how a lens, a zoom-in lens will make stuff look close. They're 10, 20, 30, 40 feet apart. By the way, this, roughly this direction. So let's go probably 35. Back to right here. So 42 and 28. There we go. So now we can start finding these on the plans and start looking at the construction of them. They appear to be similar in nature. The failure is similar in nature. Do you see the corners stripped out, the rebar pulled out here? Rebar stayed in place here. Same thing with here. It's just pulled. It just stripped it out. Just stripped it out, and then stripped out to there. You'd like to see some of that unzipping going on where it pops it, but this appears this rebar is at the lower section also of the deck, and it's got no engagement, not enough engagement to do any to resist any pull-out test. This is that wall there. I don't know. All right, so here's 4-2. There's 28, and then we got two more here, 1 and 2. So let's look at that real quickly. 42, 28, 1 and 2. So 76 and 75 are status quo, or in the game. But I think it's over to this. Okay, so that's in place too. We know this one's in place. It's a larger column. So now we're starting to find things that we can see that are in place. 75, 28, 42. 37. I believe 37 is in place. Then I'm going to believe this one's in place too. So this little row here is in place. 28, 75. So here's our reinforcement. All right, let's go to back to the image. Yeah, this is all starting to look like the same thing. 28, this whole row here. Okay, let's jump into my old photographs. And my favorite joke, don't worry about my porn here, it's my personal possession. You can look at it, but I'm going to need to charge you for looking at my porn. Alright, so those are the columns overlay. Now I got a better overlay. Did a video on that? Okay. So there's this structure, and it not only has two, but it has a third one back here. So 1, 2, and 3. There's that railing that's down. Let's see if we can correlate that over to here. So that would be looking at above my screen. So it would be 1, 2, and here's a large third one. Significantly large. Dimensions wise. Let's go back to my images again, and I know what I'm looking for when I see it. I forgot. Someone said I got the buildings mixed up. Guy, you got the building mixed up, and if I did, so what? You know which building I'm talking about. North, south, whatever. So those piers are underneath here supporting this deck, just so you guys know. Those 28, etc. So 28's right about there, going over. There's the large one. There's that one. The deck sheared off to one over to the next column underneath of this deck. We saw that in the the hokey pokey rescue underneath of there with the drilling. Incidentally, nobody came up with anybody on that one, did they? Right here. So then we have these guys out here. That's these two guys out here. Let's go to back to the drawings. And where are they? Click here. Nope. Drawings. Oh, that's McAfee. I'm researching McAfee, his website and things like that. That's what that image was. Interesting character. All right, so so that one goes to there. So these jog over. They're not in line with this. They're here, but they're equal with the parking garage. So find this one, and you'll see no nefarious means. If we see this one standing up, there's number 42. There's 37. And for anyone saying cars came down, did anything, this would have been the one that would have been most likely to run into or turn around and run into a main structure would be 88. Number 88 or number 14 columns. This is going back up the ramp. That's going to be a little difficult to do anything damage there. Besides, I think this is a wall, guys. I think they did a wall here. So I think you're going to get crumpled yourself. So you'd have to come over here, and then to pick up any speed, you'd have to come this direction and turn. You're not going to go this direction. So down that line of thinking of nefariousness. And then if you were going to do it for real, then you would be in this parking garage and you would fly down here and try to hit one of these. Considering you don't know how the structure works, you would pick up the most speed here and think you would do something down here. So I don't see that. That's just answering your nefarious parking garage action. I'm just saying no, not at this time. All right, so so I'm backing off all of that. This guy here. So 28, this one's in place, this one's in place. This is our structure right here. The step back. So these three are jogged out in front. So they jogged in front. 28. Remember 28 next to it, and this one. They jogged in front. So 28. 28. Oh no, this is this line. We still have one more column to go. This column's still in place anyway. So these are in place. The spans are so great from here to here that when the deck collapsed, and this being softer concrete and all that extra loading on it any damn way with that minimum rebar reinforcement re-engagement, it's able to not just strip it down, but it's able to wipe it clean almost around these columns. Watch what I mean by wipe it clean. Right here, we got two on this side. Apparently too high, too low. Well, here's too low. Here's too high. And I don't mean excessively by saying two. That one's two meaning numbers. 1, 2. Here's too high. Here's too low. This one might have been pulled out. We just can't identify it here. Note that shape. See the shape? It looks like a 90 here, 45 coming up. That's one of the shapes that I showed you. Okay, can we get here? That's number 48. Let's do that. I'll get back to that shape. Note this shape. The 48 was here. It's 48. Fireman are there, so there's the other one. So it made it back to here. But this is the one with that shape. So that's number 72. That's one with the bevel shape upwards. So take note of that. So beveled shape upwards. So this is more stripped down, but the other one's a classic. Bevel, well, it's ripped inward in here too. 45 in, but 45 out, and 45 out here. See it? So we get to, hopefully I have the image for that. Desktop. I do not. But I have it over here. Luckily, I have it set up. Let's see. Where's the man with the... See that right here? There we go. There's your 45. Right there. So what they didn't have are like shear links. There are these links that help engage this also. It's a whole setup of doing it. That's a beam. But that's your... well, if it was over here, it would be more flexible. And punching of concrete slabs. So they said they set up a slab. This would be the end of it then. And then I want to show you, if you go into older buildings, you'll see this. In the older buildings in Philadelphia especially, you'll see these this is their protection for that. So it's not like something that's unknown. These beautiful cones like that. They were familiar with it. Here's what it looks like happening at the time as the failure is happening. If someone's able to stop it in time before it completed its action. See the 45? There's your 45s. And there's how it breaks off. And then the bottom is going to get pulled out. So that's another version of it where there's no reinforcement at the top. So it's going to tilt that way. But I wanted to show you, that was... This is the one with the most of the material around it. It just moved it out, so they didn't run the bed of reinforcement further out. And so you get, well, you just move the column strength, puncture a section further out. That's all you did there. I wanted to show you, that one was pretty, that one with the steps. It's just like a swimming pool that they didn't load properly, and then they put the water in it, and then hocus pocus. You wonder what happened. I'm guessing they put the water in it and then you did that. I want to see that. That one where the guy they quoted an action at the bottom of the steps. That's beautiful. Here's one where all the reinforcement is working and interacting good, and when the deck drops down, you can see it really trying its best to hold, but then the concrete and interactions can't do it. And then you get that unzipping of the concrete at the top here. They also use, it looks like that steel this might be a testing zone. And those anchor bolts to pull down the deck. Right here, they literally pull down the deck, and then you'll get your evaluation of what it can do. So here's a bolt, and they literally just pull it down, cause failure, and that will tell you how well this mat can perform. And as you can see, if that's the concrete column, if that's it, then it extended that same column out to the side. Here is, I don't know if this is testing or not, but there it is about to happen. And this is obviously the reinforcement around that you're looking at, that mat. Here it is on the columns, which we have now in our images. They're collapsing, and you get these long stick columns left behind. I really wanted to see that step one. It looks like I lost it. That was very pretty. So the core samples would have been able to tell you all of this. Also, deflection of the deck. You know, one of the things is the deck shouldn't deflect under so much wood load. So it works inversely. Also, I should be able to put that load on there. So he's calculated this load at 100, and it's 40 and 40 if we look at his load calculations on what it should take. I think it's 40 live load, 40 dead load on the parking garage, 40 pounds per square foot, live loads. And in deflection, he's not saying what the deflection should be at 40 pounds per square foot. What should it be? It's not saying. It just says parking garage should take 40 pounds per square foot. You have to realize that 40 pounds per square foot is easy to overcome when you get a car moving. I call it hydraulic jackhammering. When you get a car moving, and then slam on brakes. Just like in a motor vehicle, all that force is going to go to the front of the tires now. Now you're point loading an area on each tire, and that's going to be greater than 40 pounds per square foot based on your tire size and your contact points of the surface. The roofie only has it 20 pounds per square foot. This is amazing. The stairs are the strongest thing in the damn building. Public spaces, 100 pounds per square foot. So this is people gathering. Green room, partitions. I find the parking very. I'm not down far enough, am I? Here we go. I'm trying to move the screen. Sorry, guys. There's the jacuzzi. There's the pool. There's the pool equipment. We've seen the pool. I've seen the photographs, guys. You sent me the pool equipment images. All right, so it's in this wall here. You're showing me a lot of. Well, it probably would make sense. There's a lot of. You sent me the images. But what you haven't sent me, you keep talking about this flooding. I look in those images. I look at the walls in those images, and I don't see water stains that are 4 foot high. I do see some corrosion at the top. You know, this is a chlorine and everything else inside there. So, you know, the odors, etc. Hopefully they got venting there, but the two-way venting, water in, water out. But I did not see water stains on those buildings, so you guys sent me that. Let's see if Gregory sent me one. Let me go. His roof direction of water is very sound. He made zones. He made zones for this water to run off, and through the roof drains, and they would partial off wherever they partial off. I'm not sure. See, again, there's a stairwell, so you're not doing anything here. This is probably concrete all the way up to the wall, to the ceiling. And then they partial off however they do. So the this is the roof drain right here, and he's running his water from here to here to here and over here. This is his roof drain. Get a better image than that. Hold on. There it is. That's much better. Here's his roof drain. 4 inch, wait a minute, RD, roof drain. The other one said it looked like double D, but I thought it was an RD. Mistake, but it's not. Here's more what his roof drain looks like for the building. You're standing right now. The water runs this direction. It goes into this downspout, and off it goes through the roof drain. This one over here. So he's configured this roof to run water off, and it has multiple sections to run water off. So people saying they had water coming in. Well, I don't know where it is, but this roof has, if you kept these drains cleared, it would have been isolated. These people with the water conditions. You can see the how the water drains into each one of these inlets, which are then downspouts. I'm out. Bye. Oh, yeah, please give me your, as they say, smash the like button and give me a couple of comments there on the progression of these videos, how they're doing for you. Thank you.